friends, welcome or welcome back. I'm MC, a knit and crochet designer from Connecticut, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Blame the Knots, on my website, blametheknots.com, and of course right here on YouTube where you can get to know me a little bit better. Today is May 8th, and we are here for episode 23 of the podcast, and let me tell you, this one's gonna be a little bit different. I have a lot to talk about, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So grab yourself a project, grab a cup of something, get cozy, head outside if it's nice weather where you are, and settle in because we have an adventure ahead of us. All right, we are going to go a little bit in reverse today. So obviously I am not wearing anything handmade, so we don't have to talk about that. And we are going to start with our life and admin-y things. So firstly, I would like to say a huge, gigantic thank you because we have passed 500 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so excited. This is a big milestone, and you have all made my day, and I'm so excited. So to celebrate, we are going to do a Q&A. I have a video planned of some stuff that I want to do while I'm answering some of your questions. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, you can leave them as a comment below. Probably within the next couple of days, I will be putting a question box on Instagram as well for anyone who wants to have a question answered over there. So there will be multiple ways that you can get your questions to me, and I can't wait to answer and get to know you a little bit better. Now on to some life stuff. So basically, after my last episode, I had said that I was really excited to go take a spinning class at one of my local yarn stores, Madison Wool. And I took it and it was amazing, and we will talk about it a little bit more in a bit because I have a lot to show you. But almost immediately after that, I got really sick. So I was out of commission for about a week, completely out of commission, like couldn't knit, couldn't crochet, couldn't spin. I basically was just like bedridden, and it was horrible. It was awful. I felt awful the whole time. I feel all the way better now, but I still sound a bit stuffy and have a little bit of a cough. So I am very sorry if I sound funny, but yeah, that's what went down. And that is why I did not have any videos last week. So the only video that we have had since the last time I filmed a podcast is my April stash update. So that went live on Tuesday. So if you're interested in following along with that journey, I will leave that linked for you and you can go check it out. All right, now into our works in progress. And a quick little side note, Shandy, our dog, is sleeping right here underneath my desk, and she is snoring quite loudly. But if I wake her up, she's going to make even more noise and be more annoying. So I'm sorry if you hear any puppy snores, but yeah. Oh well. So we are starting with works in progress today because I only have one knitting and crochet work in progress, and then everything else I have to talk about is spinning related. So I know that not everybody is into spinning. I would absolutely love it if you stuck around and heard what I had to say and saw what I was working on, but I get it. And if you're only here for knitting and crochet content, we are going to talk about that first, and then you can head off to do something else or skip to the end or whatever makes you happy. My first work in progress is my second sample of my C Street tank, which is a design by me, and this is in collaboration with Bree of the Little Wolf Knits. Bree is designing a knit version and I am designing the crochet version. And this is using Bree's yarn as well. This is the colorway I Can't Get Started, and this was a Gilmore Girls monthly club. So the last time I showed this. I had my back panel done to the underarm shaping, and I had done the very tiniest bit of the front panel. So I was right here where this stitch marker is. This is a Jeep stitch marker. Let me see if I can show that. There we go. It's like the grill of a Jeep, and this is from the Crazy Sock Lady. I have no idea if these are still available or not, but I drive a Jeep and I love it, and I felt like using this stitch marker would be fun. So I had the little bit of the front panel done, and I had not yet joined for the neck, so I did that and finished the shaping on the front, joined in the round, and I have done maybe about 4 inches of the body so far. So things are going really well. I'm just cruising along on this when I can. I am still working on my first skein, and yeah, it's just cruising along. This is, it's been a lot of fun. This pattern is already in testing, so I'm making this second version along with my testers, and they are flying, and we have so many amazing versions for you to see. My next work in progress is something that I worked on a little bit at my spinning class. So the way that this spinning class worked was the first part was about drop spindling, and then we moved on to wheel spinning. So I have been using my drop spindles for a little bit, and I absolutely have more to learn. I am not a seasoned drop spindler, but I feel confident enough. So I asked if it would be okay if I brought a current project that I was working on to the class instead of using their practice fiber and you know, working along with the other people in the class that were learning how to drop spindle for the first time. And they said that was cool. So I brought my Bosworth spindle, which is one of the most beautiful things I own, and I brought some fiber. I got this at Rhinebeck last year, and this is from Lyman's Sleighbell farm. This is a 100% Corriedale combed top, and it's great. It's this kind of like puke green, and I just love it. I love the way it's working up. This is my third spindle full that I'm working on. I will get that a little bit closer for you to see. Come on, focus, please. There we go. I don't know what weight I'm doing. I'm just having fun. I guess it's like right now I'm spinning up kind of like a lace weight, and I'm hoping that I'll get a fingering weight once I ply it, or I don't know. Will I do a 2-ply? Will I do a 3-ply? I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So I worked on this. I did all of this spinning during the spinning class, which was a lot of fun. It was really good to get back into this, and I just kind of am picking this up when I can, and yeah, just plugging along, working through this here and there. I haven't worked on it since the spinning class, and you will see why in a moment. All right, here we go into my finished objects. Now, let me tell you, I have been having a bobbin clearing bonanza around here. I have just been just like absolutely obsessed with getting bobbins clear, with finishing projects that I was in the middle of. I started this a little bit before I got sick, and then I just spent the entire time I was sick thinking about it. And since I have gotten better, I have been, oh my gosh, you can't like let a bobbin near me without me trying to clear it off. I spent so much time while I was sick just kind of like watching people spinning online. I watched a lot of Tashi at Stitches and Starlights videos because I just wanted to like learn more about spinning and absorb stuff, and I couldn't practice it myself. So yeah, I spent a lot of time just watching people, and it really inspired me. And then as soon as I felt better, I was like, zoom, 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 spinning, spinning, spinning. You can't stop me. So I showed this spin last time, and I was almost done with the singles for this, but I since finished the singles, plied it, and have finished the yarn. And this is Captain Tightpants from Into the World. And it is so much fun. This is 100% superwash Cheviot, and I have learned that I do not like Cheviot yarn. But that's okay. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the spin. The spinning was great. I don't love this fiber. It's a little bit scratchy, even though it's superwash. And the thing is that it has these like stuff just, the fiber is still just like flying everywhere, and it like, I feel like every time I pick this up I end up like inhaling some of the fiber, and then it makes me cough. So it's fine. It's a fine fiber. I do have another braid from Into the World of superwash Cheviot, and I will spin it and I will enjoy it. However, I'm not sure if I'm going to make anything out of this because I just have learned I don't like Cheviot, and that's okay. This, I just took the braid, I unbraided the braid, and I just spun from one end to the other, and then split it up. I did this on my Dreaming Robots Nano, and so I needed, those have very small bobbins, and I needed 4 bobbins to complete the whole spin. So I basically just made it a 2-ply, plied everything together from end to end, and it came out like this, which is kind of cool. It has some very interesting color changes in there, and I think it's really fun. So that's project number 1. The next project that I finished was something that I started a really long time ago, and that is Nebula from Wonderland Yarns, and this is a colorway that is exclusive to Madison Wool, and it's really fun. It has blue, purple, green, black, and I spun this as a fractal. Oh, hang on. One second. I specifically wrote down my yardage of all of these things so that I could tell you, and then I forgot to say it. So for Captain Tightpants, I have about 340 yards. This was a 4-ounce spin, so that's about a little bit more than 100 grams. So I have 340 yards, so that's like, I don't know. It goes down to like a fingering weight in some places and up to a DK weight in some places, but I would say like overall it's closest to a sport weight if you kind of average it out. And then for Nebula, I got 276 yards, again for 4 ounces. So this is like pretty much exactly a DK skein, which is kind of cool. I think this is probably my most consistent spin that I have done yet. And come on, focus, there we go. And I love it. This is 100% merino. Let's see what else. I spun this on my Electric Eel Wheel 6. So I had done 1 bobbin a long time ago, like maybe in November or December I did 1 bobbin, and it just sat there, and then I needed to do the second half of the project. So I did that last week and plied it up, and it's beautiful. So this is really soft and bouncy and squishy, and I love it a lot. I love merino. I know some people don't like to spin with merino or spin with finer wools. They like the grippier things, but I freaking, oh, it's so squishy. It's so squishy, and I loved working on this project. The only thing is, I don't think I want to make anything with this. I have no desire to use it. So that's something that I've been struggling with. Not struggling, but like kind of learning about myself as I go through this spinning journey is I am having so much fun spinning, and I love learning it. I love creating new things. I love trying different ways to spin. But then sometimes I find that when I am done finishing the yarn, I feel done with it. I don't really want to make anything out of it. So I guess my goal is to get to a point where I feel my yarn is worth selling, because what else am I gonna do with it? I'm not just gonna like keep it and, you know, look at it. So I do have some yarns that I've made that I want to make things with, but sometimes I just, like, I feel like my time with this is done, and I'm cool with that. So, yeah. Oh, I spun this as a fractal spin, by the way, I forgot to say that. So basically, what that means is you have your braid, and you split it down the middle. Then I took one of those halves and I spun it end to end. The other half I split again, and I spun end to end for one of them, and then end to end for the second one, and then applied those two together. So in one ply you have the color changes are quite far apart. There you have very long color repeats, and then you have smaller color repeats on the other one, and when you apply them together you get this cool result where you have a lot of colors that mix together. You can do other types of fractals too, like I could have divided that in 3 parts instead of 2. I could have divided it in 6 parts if I wanted to and gotten even shorter color repeats, but I just decided to do a 1-2 fractal, and this is a really nice yarn. This is a really nice yarn. Like, I want to hold this all the time, whereas this, I'm like, okay, look at it, it's just, there's just fiber everywhere. I don't like it. I like it. This is a great product. I loved spinning it. I will 100% be back getting more stuff from Into the World. I have more of their stuff, but I don't like Cheviot. This, like, make me pillows out of this yarn. Oh, it's so amazing. It's beautiful. Okay, I've talked about this enough. Let's move on. Okay, so now we need to talk a little bit more about the spinning class that I took. So I brought my Ashford Traveler, which is behind me over here. That is an Ashford Traveler, single treadle. I got her used back in October. Yeah, October. And I had such a hard time learning to spin with her. Not the wheel's fault, my fault. But I was just having a lot of trouble. I would practice my treadling. I practiced with commercial yarn, just like letting it feed onto the bobbin and stuff like that. But I just could not spin yarn on it. I was having so much trouble. So I brought my wheel to the class, which was the point. You know, if you had a wheel, you're supposed to bring it to the class so you can learn how to use it. And at some point in the class, the owner of the yarn shop came back and kind of gave my wheel a little once over, gave her a tune-up, oiled her, tightened some things, messed with some stuff, and I swear I sat down afterwards and I was like, okay, well, I've never successfully spun on this, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I'm probably just gonna have to practice a lot of treadling today because I can't spin on it, so I'm gonna need some help learning how to use it. I sat down and immediately flew. Just flew. I asked her, like, what magic did you just do to this wheel? Because I couldn't use it, and now I can. What the heck? And she was like, I didn't really do anything. I just gave it a tune-up. So, I still don't know exactly what happened, but suddenly I could spin, and it was amazing. So, the first thing I did on my wheel at the shop was just this little itty-bitty skein of fiber. I really don't need to show this, but I'm going to because I'm proud. And this was the first thing I did on a spinning wheel, like a manual spinning wheel. And I have no idea what fiber this is. It's just wool for practicing. So I did that, and it was great. And then, okay, I'm gonna have to reference my phone and some photos I have, and editing MC is going to be very annoyed with the number of pictures I have in here because I couldn't wait couldn't wait to spin these things and talk about them on the podcast, or, you know, I couldn't be bothered to like sit down and film a little clip that I could maybe insert here, so I just took pictures of everything along the way, and I will be popping them in so that you can see them. So again, when I went to this class, I thought, okay, they're going to have this fiber available for us to practice on, and that's all well and good. They had a ton of this that people could practice on. But I thought, I have fiber at home. I have plenty of it. I have lots of it. It inspires me. Why don't I just throw a braid in my bag and we'll see what happens. We'll see if I use it. So I had a braid of some Corriedale fiber that I had hand dyed myself, and I brought it along, and I spun the whole thing that day. It was 2 ounces. It was a 2 ounce braid, and I spun it that day. It was a dark orange, and I don't have a picture of it before I spun it, sorry, but I will be inserting some photos in a moment. So I finished that whole braid on my traveler, and I was really proud of myself. Then I had another 2 ounce braid, again, one that I had hand dyed, and I will pop a picture of that in because I have a picture of that, and it was a lighter orange and a pink. And I thought, well, I have these 2 random braids. I don't really have any plans. They're both 2 ounces. Like, what am I going to do with 2 ounces of fiber if I were to spin them separately and ply them on themselves? So if I combine the two, I can at least get 4 ounces, right? So I decided to spin up this fiber, and I have a picture of both of them on the bobbins that I will insert as well. So what was happening with the second one, I think you can probably see this in the picture, is that the orange and pink one looks sloppier than the solid orange bobbin, and that is because I was having a lot of trouble once I got home. And there were 2 things mainly. One, I realized my wheel needed some oil, and so it was just kind of like a learning experience of getting to know her quirks and when she needs oil, so that helped a lot. But the thing is, we have all hardwood floors here in the house, and when I push the treadle, she scoots away from me a little bit. So it's like constantly fighting to keep her in place and then like pulling her back as she scoots away. So I was, this second bobbin is a bit sloppier because I was just like trying to get used to things and trying to put different things underneath her to keep her in place, and yeah, so it's not the best, but that's okay. It's fine. It is what it is. And so I then plied everything together. I used my electric eel wheel 6 to ply this together because it's so much faster. And this is what we got. So you can see that there's a lot of, focus please, focus, focus, oh my gosh, come on. Is this focused? There we go, oh my gosh, okay. Sorry about that. You can see that there's a lot of thick and thin and some sections, especially among the pink and orange, that are just like not plied or not spun very well, very, very loosely spun, because I was struggling. I was having some trouble, but that's okay. So this is 100% Corriedale, and I love Corriedale. I love spinning with Corriedale. It's fantastic. So I just got a bunch of fiber in my mouth. So I spun both braids just end to end, nothing exciting about that, and it came out kind of fun. So that is my first ever spin on my Ashford Traveler, and it made me very happy. And once again, I have no desire to work with this yarn, but I don't know, we'll figure something out. I'll find someone that wants it, or I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but yeah. Also, this is my first time spinning up. Was it? Yeah. This was my first time spinning up some fiber that I had dyed, and I was really happy with the results because it wasn't felted. There weren't any issues with it, and it was really fun and rewarding to work up some fiber that I had dyed. Next up, two little things in the bobbin clearing bonanza that happened. Firstly, I had a little bit of extra singles left on the dark orange bobbin because that was a much more consistent and thinner spin than the other one. So I had a decent amount left, and I decided I wanted to see what happened when my yarn, like if I just took my default spin, my default singles spin, and I finished the yarn. I wanted to see what it would be like as a single, and what would happen. So I just wound it off of the bobbin and skeined it up and finished it. And so I have a tiny little skein. I don't know how many yards this is. Oh, I forgot again. This, I got 134 yards. So yeah, it's, I don't know, like an Aran, maybe? Wait. Maybe leaning towards bulky? I'm not sure. Okay, now, I have no idea how many yards this is. I didn't count because I don't really care. But I thought it was really interesting because if I undo the skein, so this is my singles, and you can see it has a tiny bit of counter twist in there because it's been skeined up, but it is almost perfectly balanced, which tells me a lot about my spinning actually, because if my singles can be balanced like this, then I'm not putting enough twist into them for plying if I want to ply them. So this tells me that I need to add more twist into my singles in general if I want to ply them, because this is like almost perfectly balanced. It's so funny, it was hanging like perfectly balanced before, and then I skeined it up, and so now it's got a little bit of twist in it, but that's okay. It's fine. It's really, really close to being balanced, and that means that my singles are bad. Not bad, but not great for the purposes that I want them to serve, because I want to ply them. So I have to add more twist into my singles in the future, and I will keep trying and keep getting better at it, and yeah. Then I decided that I wanted to clear another bobbin that I had, and this is from a spin that I showed a long time ago. This is some fiber, once again, Corriedale, from Lyman's Sleighbell farm that I got at Ritenbach, and I had this magenta-y color, and I plied it with an emerald green color, and I had a significant amount of this left. So I decided that I would try chain plying for the first time. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. And it was fun. I have no idea how many yards there are of this. Again, I don't really care. I was just trying to chain ply. I had a couple times where my yarn broke, and so it's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but it was my first experience chain plying, and it felt good to learn a new skill. Will I chain ply again? Sure, if I need to. Do I really want to chain ply again? No, I don't really have a desire to. I feel like it wasn't that much fun, but you know, it serves a purpose, and so I'm glad that I practiced it, and I'm sure I will do it again at some point in the future, but it's not something that will be, you know, a go-to for me. So yeah, that's that. And then, okay, so something happened while I was at the spinning class. And that is that there was a used wheel in the shop and I got to try it because I wanted to try and see, you know, how other wheels felt. The only wheel I had ever sat down at was mine, my Ashford that is behind me. And I sat down to try a different wheel and well, I took it home with me. I took it home with me. So this is a shacked sidekick. It is a double treadle, and I'm not going to demonstrate it, but the treadles fold up, and this all like, it comes with a little hook, sorry, a little like strap that you can hook onto it, and a carrying bag, and you can just, it travels very easily, but it honestly, it travels easily when it's not folded up too. So anyway, I brought it home with me. The price was absolutely fantastic, and I sat down at it to practice at the shop, and like, I don't even, it sounds very dramatic, but it felt like the wheel was made for me. It was like the perfect height for me. It was so comfortable, and you know, I have a lot of aches and pains and, you know, things that make me hurt, things that I have to avoid, positions and angles and things that I have to avoid. So the fact that I sat down and I was like, oh my god, I'm so comfortable, was, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, is this a sign? So I couldn't help it. I just like, did I need another wheel? No. But I am so glad that I brought this home with me, to the point where I think, I'm not 100% on this decision yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to sell my Ashford Traveler. I love it. It's beautiful, but I am so happy with this shacked sidekick that I feel like I would never use my other one because this one is so much fun and I want to play with it all the time. I have been, since I brought it home, well, I was sick for a little while, but every day that I have been able, I have been sitting down and spinning at it, and I've just been having such a good time, and it just feels, it feels very special, and the moments that I'm spinning on it feel so peaceful and meditative, and yeah, I am so glad that I brought it home. So anyway, that being said, the first thing that I made on my shacked sidekick is this skein of merino silk. I am not sure what the percentages are, but it was merino silk, and it is the color Claude's, what's it called? Claude's Water Lilies, and it is from the shop One Thursday, who is on Etsy, and it is fine. I mean, it's good. It's a good skein of yarn, but I personally don't like it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not, I have no interest in this. I think I have decided that I don't like spinning with silk. So yeah, that's that. This, as you can see, because of the silk, has amazing drape in it. Like you can see a regular skein of yarn, you know, this is Corriedale. It has structure. This is very drapey because of the silk. I spun this braid just end to end, and I plied this on my shacked. And again, I think I'm done with plying on my manual wheels. I mean, never say never, but I would do it if I needed to, but I feel like plying on an electric wheel is just, I'm pointing because they're on the shelf behind me. Plying on an electric wheel, you can just like zoom through it. So I don't think I will ply on my manual wheels really anymore, unless there's some specific reason. But anyway, I got 108 yards out of this. So it's interesting because it doesn't, well, yes, okay. I forgot to talk about some things. Okay. Basically, if we go back to my Captain Tightpants, I spun this woolen spun, which means that there is a lot more air in the fibers, and so it's a much squishier, loftier yarn. I spun this semi-woolen. Yeah, actually, I probably spun both of these like semi-woolen. So they're very squishy. This I spun worsted. So it is a bit more, the yarn is a bit more like dense. So yeah. Anyway, I hate it. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like it. And I have no desire to keep this, and I would like it gone. So it's fine. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like so averse to this yarn. It's really not bad. I think it taught me, I've tried spinning with silk several times before, and I think every time I've spun with silk, it's made me feel like I'm a bad spinner. And I think really I just need to say I don't like spinning with silk, not that I'm bad at it. Well, maybe I am bad at spinning with silk, but I'm not a bad spinner. There are fibers that I don't like spinning with, and that's okay. So instead of fighting with silk in the future, I'm just not gonna spin with it. Again, never say never. Maybe one day I will feel like going back to it, but yeah. So anyway, okay. I'm done talking about this now. And I have one last finished spinning project for you. And this one is going to be an interesting discussion. So basically, okay. I need to reference my phone. We're gonna have a lot of pictures in here again. So I had 4 braids of yarn that I dyed myself. They were 2-ounce braids each. And basically what I was doing when I dyed these was a bit of a color study, in essence. I was playing with breaking dye, so I'll try and go through all this stuff as fast as I can, and if anyone wants more information about this stuff, I'm happy to talk about it. But when a dye breaks, that basically means that it is kind of breaking up into its component parts. So I was playing with purple dye, right? And purple is made up of blue and red. So when it breaks, it will break into blue and red instead of purple. So the red dye strikes, or basically sticks to the material faster than blue does. So you will get parts that are purple, like pinky, purpley, and then you will get parts that are blue when all of the red has been absorbed into the material and all that is left is blue coloring. So I was playing with yarn, or playing with fiber and breaking dye. And then I was also playing with acids, because for these dyes to stick to wool, you need an acid, and that will make them strike. Strike is the technical dyeing term, but basically stick. It will make them stick to the fiber. So the most common options of acids are citric acid and vinegar. That is what most people use in, oh no, I'm running out of space on my card. Okay, hang on 1 second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I think we should be good. So what was I saying? Acids, okay. You can use citric acid or vinegar to get dye to stick to fiber. And so I wanted to see what would happen with those two options and how they would compare. So basically I had one braid, okay. I also had, I had 4 ounces of white Corriedale fiber and 4 ounces of not quite gray, but kind of like a heathered white with gray fibers in it. Again, Corriedale. So I had this whiter version and this grayer version, and I split them both up. So I had 2 options of white, 2 options of gray. So I took 1 white and dyed it with vinegar, and 1 white and dyed it with citric acid, and then 1 gray with vinegar and 1 gray with citric acid. So, okay, basically I will put a picture right now of the 2 braids of white fiber with citric acid and vinegar, and the one that is on the top has been dyed using vinegar as the acid, and the one that is on the bottom has been dyed using citric acid. And you can see that the citric acid has totally changed the tones of these colors. So there's a lot more pinkiness in the purples, and the blue is way more like vibrant and less pastel-y than in the one that was dyed with vinegar. And then now here are the gray braids that were dyed with vinegar and citric acid. And once again, vinegar is on the top, citric acid is on the bottom. This is a much more subtle difference between the 2 of them, but you can see still again that the blue has a bit more pop in the citric acid version, and the purple has more pinky tones in it. So what I did was I decided to apply, or I spun all of them up, and then I applied them. I applied the white that was dyed with vinegar with the gray that was dyed with citric acid, and I applied the white that was dyed with citric acid with the gray that was dyed with vinegar. And I just wanted to see what would happen. I didn't do any kind of fractal, I just spun them end to end. And so here we go. I have my bobbin that is white with citric acid. Then I had my second bobbin, which was the gray with vinegar. And then I have a picture of my third and fourth bobbins, which is the white with vinegar, which is much more vibrant, and the gray with citric acid, which is the more muted one. So, okay, now I can put my phone down. I am done with all of the photos, because now I can show you what happened. And here she is. So this yarn has not been finished yet. I just pulled this off of my Niddy Noddy like not very long ago. As soon as I'm done filming this, I'm going to soak it and finish it so it will be a bit more smooth and, you know, all that stuff. But this is my amazing skein of yarn that I hand dyed all of this fiber, spun it together, made yarn. It's so cool. So I got 370 yards out of 8-ish ounces. I actually haven't weighed it yet. So 370 yards, 8 ounces. Yeah, I haven't checked the reps per inch on this yet. I have no idea if I will make something with this, what I will make with it. I just think it's so cool. I think it has, let me see, let me undo it. So keep in mind, this has not been finished yet, so you might see like a lot of like wiggliness and stuff, but there are some sections where like all the blue lined up together. There are some sections where you got like blue and purple barber pulling. There are some sections that are just purple or like different tones of purple barber pulling. It's so cool. It's so cool and lots of fun, and I cannot wait to finish it and see how squishy it gets and how amazing it is. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll work with it. We'll see. We will see what I do, and if I decide to make anything with my yarn. So I will probably show this really, really quickly next week, or next time I record, just so that you can see the finished yarn, but I love it. I'm so excited. Okay. That was a wild ride. We were talking for a long time. That is all I have to show you. I have no spinning projects currently, so I would really like to figure one out soon. Probably tonight I will be picking out some new fiber to spin. I don't have any more right now. I don't have any left that I have hand dyed, so we'll have to remedy that. Because it was really, really fun spinning with yarn that I dyed and watching it turn into something. It was really cool. So anyway, if you have any recommendations on what I should do with any of these skeins, something that I should make, something that I can do with them, who might be interested in them, you know, what purpose they might serve, let me know. And also, don't forget about the Q&A. Go ask your questions in the comments if you would like. And thank you. If you have stuck around, thank you for bearing with me through all of my spinning chatter and just obsessive talking. Oh my gosh, I think I am getting another notification that I am running out of space on my memory card. I need to do something about this. Anyway, until next time, take care of you, and I will see you later. Bye.